Hello everyone, my name is AJ Agent and I'm here to discuss my auditing in the news topic, which is the AICPA and NASB propose a new pathway to CPA licensure. I'm going to be giving a brief summary of the a brief summary of the article, our connection between the article and our course material, and share some future insights and implications that I believe the new pathway can have on accounting. All right, let's get to it. So, this article is talking about the legislation proposed by these accounting bodies, the AICPA and the NASB, to explore a new pathway for the license. The competency based experience pathway aims to offer an additional route for CPA candidates to demonstrate their professional and technical skills. This pathway is designed for those who have completed a bachelor's degree and met their state's requirement for accounting and business courses, as well as obtain a year of experience and pass the CPA exam. This is all shown in this diagram on the right. So, under the competency pathway, candidates would instead obtain a second year of working under a CPA who would then evaluate their professional competencies shown on the left. These 7 competencies, these professional competencies at the top, are required, but only one of the technical competencies in either tax, audit, or this business and financial reporting is required. These are all just proposed amendments to the current legislation, but this would be a significant change because it would challenge the educational requirement that was previously imposed back in 1979, and then later adopted by the AICPA, requiring it for the members in 2000. And so now, as we shift away from the 150 credits, this opens the door for future candidates. Some benefits outlined in the article mentioned increasing flexibility and accessibility while continuing the rigor that distinguished the challenge of attaining a CPA licensure. So, flexibility includes adopting these requirements that go beyond just those of education. As we know, there's already a shortage of accountants and CPAs as professionals are moving out of the field. A separate article by the VSCPA mentions how we're seeing a decline in students entering college as well. So, at a time when it's crucial to increase the number of CPAs, this alternative pathway could do so. Accessibility is also mentioned as the cost of tuition is seen as a barrier to the profession. Competency-based path enables you to work and obtain a year of salary rather than commit another year at university. And the last benefit is that of equal rigor. The idea that each alternative pathway to the CPA will produce competent and knowledgeable professionals in accounting is the goal of the NASB, and they believe that these pathways are equal of challenge. So now I get to tie the article to our course materials. And one hot topic that we've been discussing lately is the CPA exam itself, as audit is one of the core exams that you must take. We might be thinking as students that this pathway would benefit us as we go into our CPA journey after we graduate, but unfortunately things like legislation take a while to pass, and it becomes effective a couple years after that fact. In 1999, Virginia passed the 150 requirement, and that wasn't effective until 2005. I think that based on the decline in CPA examinations, we are going, and the technology push in these firms, I think we're going to see faster turnover rates when it comes to passing legislation. So I can definitely see that this particular legislation might actually pass sooner than we think. Our chapter also mentions in chapter 2 how CPAs have a duty and responsibility and to serve the public. And so protecting public interest, ensuring that financial statements are presented accurately and fairly. This is an important part of integrity in business and of the auditor. Secondly, CPAs adhere to these professional standards, which include ethical conduct. In Virginia, the CPA license requires an ethics exam, and the alternative pathway proposed can also cover ethics as a competency requirement. I think this will improve audit quality as we're increasing our exposure to ethics in the workplace. This is also mentioned, the textbook also mentions how CPAs are required to complete this continuing professional educational requirement. The different educational pathways would basically differentiate the meaning between choosing a master's degree, taking 30 credits, and now adding a year of work experience. I'd argue that a year of work under a CPA is far more valuable than taking those 30 credits of classes, and also potentially more valuable than a master's program. I also want to go over some of the future implications I think that passing this legislation may have on the accounting profession. So, we all know that the accounting profession is evolving, and I think that because we're seeing so many changes to the CPA exam, this would kind of align with the shift in the accounting field. So, as we evolve, the accounting profession evolves, so should the examination process, so should what's on the exam. We're looking also at a kind of a nationwide change when it comes to administering the CPA and its requirements. So, as Virginia passes their legislation, other states are likely to follow, and we're looking at possibly even a global shift in how CPAs or chartered accountants are obtaining their license, as well as the future changes to the CPA itself. I mentioned this focus on competency, and so I think this is kind of a good factor that this is going to be a skill based profession, and CPAs are going to be valued on their skills. All right, so as I conclude this presentation, just some key takeaways that I think that you should take with you. So the article that I mentioned earlier was all about this new alternate pathway to obtaining a CPA that doesn't include a additional 30 credit requirement. Usually that was done through a master's program or just taking random classes to meet that 30 credit goal. However, this pathway, it takes that and it says we're going to add 1 year of work experience so it's going to total 2 years, but they're adding 1 year, which you can learn and work under a CPA, pass your competency requirements, and then eventually pass your exam. And this is going to highlight a more flexible and accessible approach to obtaining the CPA that is focused on those competencies. All right, so thank you for watching my Auditing in the News presentation about the AICPA and NASB's proposed legislation for the CPA licensure. I just wanted to finish out with my citations. I did the NASB report, I did our auditing textbook, I did the article itself, and then I also referenced the VSCPA's article on 150. And so I wish everyone good luck about their own CPA journeys, and good luck with the rest of your college.